What up, everyone? Good old live at luncher. Still getting just a few things set up, everyone. So bear with me. The heck, do I have something on my camera? Is that lighting? Must be lighting reflecting. Thought there was like a, yeah, must be some lighting. I'll be able to dim the lighting and all that once I get the machine fired up, but that's what it is, just some glare. Hopefully everybody's doing well this week, you guys, y'all. So I'll get this machine turned on here. Do a little introduction and then we'll get into it, you guys. So yeah, I'm just gonna get the machine plugged in, we'll get it turned on. I'm gonna get my TV all set up so I can see your guys' comments, all that good stuff to go with it. There we go. Starting her up. Try to get this as best as I can into focus, kind of catching the whole machine TV type deal, you guys. So it's about as close as I can get for right at the moment. And eventually, like, maybe I'll be able to shoot these more at a wide angle. Kind of was checking all those analytics out, you guys, on the good old YouTubes there, and it seems like a lot more of you guys that watched it live are kind of watching them on the TV and or on a tablet. So maybe moving forward with Mega-Cades and things like that, I could shoot them more at the wide angle to kind of maybe get more of just the TV instead of trying to get the TV in the marquee. So you guys can kind of maybe see a little bit more of what's kind of going on and things like that. And I can always back up and show you guys the marquee to kind of go with all that good stuff. I just always try to shoot it in this way so I can get you kind of more, I guess, more of the whole machine. So you can see a little bit of the active marquee, TV, and all that kind of good stuff to go with it. But so we're Extremo Arcades. We build custom arcades from the ground up. I will walk around this unit. This is one of just our pre-built units with the DK PAC-Grid artwork, non-lighted buttons, standard joysticks, active marquee. We have, what, a Wii package on here, just standard aim track guns, Xbox controllers, base computer. Yeah, and that's about it. And so yeah, with this one, with the 4-player Mega-Cade, the active marquee, it was just a base drive system, so I believe that got upgraded. But if you were just to get this unit, you guys, with just a standard unit with this one here, with the active marquee, the standard aim track guns, a 2-player Wii package, and the Xbox controllers, you guys, and if you just went with the base data drive right now to get you a system and get you one of these, I mean, you're only looking at around like about $7,800 for build cost and to get the whole machine. And then eventually, you know, you guys could save up money and add drives as you kind of go too. If you always are kind of looking to get into the community, possibly maybe eyeing up an arcade, kind of want to save some money, things like that, that's kind of the way to kind of do it, is you can kind of just get the base stuff, and then you can always upgrade and add, because you guys you're gonna get a lot of games just even with the base data drive, you guys. And then that'll, at least, like I said, get you a system, get to playing games, get to have fun with it, get a feel for the system, and then you can always, again, add on drives from there. Super easy to do all that, you guys. There's instructions. David sends instructions on how to do all that, and then we're always here, obviously, happy to help you figure all that good stuff out to go with it too as well. So, what's up, Pumpkin, Rob, Daniel, Delino? Hopefully I said that right. Hopefully y'all are doing well. What are we? I think like 45 degrees up here, rainy today. But a week ago, you guys, we had 30 inches of snow. It was like record. 30 inches over the weekend. It was what, last weekend? Or the weekend before that, sorry. 30 inches. It was insane up here. Insane. I think it took me just 5-6 hours just to get my driveway and back patio all done. So, but all that is pretty much melted already. So, kind of warming back up, which is nice. I don't know. I can see. I think we got the added drive on this. I don't know if that's a subscription game or not, but I can certainly check and see that, and we can definitely throw that up on here if I'm able to. Because I don't know if this customer has got the TechnoParrot subscription. Because obviously, with some of those games, you will need to have that to gain access to them. So, but I will definitely check that out, Brian, and see if we can get into that, because I know there's been few of you over the past few weeks that have been kind of wanting to see that. So we'll definitely check that out. Mentu, what's up? Brian, Captain G-Pop. So this one's kind of just going through the quality checking phase, getting ready to get shipped out. So after the live, I'll probably end up just quality checking, making sure it's all ready to go, you guys. And I think it will be shipping out possibly next week to the home, and ready to get some playing done it and have fun. But we'll do a little walk around. So yeah, again, this is just one of our pre-build options, DK PAC-Grid artwork. This is our Mega-Cade, so 50-inch TV, 43-inch active marquee. I'll kind of just step back for a moment. Kind of get the front there. Can come down, show you guys the kick plate a little. I could probably take my phone off the stand too as well. I can kind of come across the panel. We just have a standard layout. Obviously, you guys can get the Scantron layout too with pre-builds, or do RGB buttons, add all that good stuff, accessories, whatever you're looking to do. What games you're wanting to play, what kind of nostalgic feel you're looking for with the spinners and the Tron sticks and kind of all that good stuff to go with it. But just mirrored artwork on the other side. So cyber acoustic for speakers. Again, we'd have standard aim tracks, Wii bar, Xbox controllers. And then obviously we do offer, you know, the Reapers, Gun for IR, things like that too. So kind of pick your poison with what kind of guns you like to as well. Maybe you're not into gun games and you don't need them, that you can always add that on after the fact. Have tons of tutorial videos and things like that to help you out with all that good stuff too. So yeah, keep on chatting away, you guys. Ask any questions. We'll get into it here. We'll go right to Men in Black, see if we can't get that up on the screen, play that, and go from there. Again, if you guys have any game requests, you want to see things like that, or even if there's a game that you're possibly looking to see if we have on the unit, hey, let's go hunt it down, see if we can't find it, and see if I can't get my butt kicked on that game. So I'm just going to get the guns plugged in here first. I know I was chatting with Blaine the other day, one of our finishers here, and I was telling him how I remember as a kid I had, I don't know if you all remember the Game Boy, and you had the magnifier glass on there and the light on it. Kind of talking about that. I remember having growing up, you know, I had the good case with all that too. But I also remember, I think my favorite actually was the Game Gear, Sega's version of a handheld. And that came out back in 1991. And I believe that was like the first rendition of a handheld with a colored screen, you guys. And I kind of remember playing the heck out of that thing for some reason more than anything. All right. So, David's on the chat here too, as well. So yeah, here we go, you guys. Again, feel free to ask any questions, or if there's anything that you possibly need help with IT-wise. Any of that, you guys, just feel free to ask. So yeah, I know right off the bat, I believe this is in Super Expansion, the new Men in Black game. So I'm just gonna find it that way, and I'm actually probably open up the Technoparrot emulator from there just to make sure it's not a subscription-based game. Because again, like I said, I know some of those were or are. For sure, yeah. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, yeah, for those that have like a Battleship box, like David's just kind of explaining up there, and yeah, I'll show you all that good stuff here, what he's kind of talking about. So basically, back when we had the Manhattan Project, our pinball wires, and the way the system ran with those emulators and things for that particular software that we were using, again, this stuff was wired differently. But since we went to Omega, started using big box, launch box there, basically the flippers and the nudges just basically got swapped is all that happened. So basically, like basically the flippers used to be 1 and 2. Now the nudge is 1 and 2, or 1 and 3, sorry. And your flippers are 3 and 6. All right, I'm trying to kind of explain it there. But yeah, it was when we had hyperspin front end there. I'm just trying to remember it all and spit out the words as I'm kind of thinking of it all at the same time. But yeah, Manhattan Project used to run hyperspin. Omega, we run in Launchbox, Big Box. So they were just slightly different. And yeah, I'll walk you through on how to do that and what they should be hooked up to, all that good stuff to kind of go with that to give you kind of a good visual cue, and hopefully that'll all help you individuals looking to do that. So maybe let's just do that right out the bat here, and then we can get into some gameplay, you guys. So again, with just this in particular panel and stuff I have, obviously we don't have a Battleship box for that, but again, it's just going to be a visualization to show everybody. So like always, we have 2 screws on the corner of your panel. I'll kind of walk you through that, hold your panel and everything down. So we got 1 screw there, 1 screw there. It just kind of holds all the panels, so when everything gets shipped, we don't get a panel flopping around, things like that. Obviously, we want to try to get your machine to you in the best way possible without being damaged. Most of the updates are for the back end, to be honest with you. It's going to be more for like the programming side of things and all that good stuff to go with it. I know it doesn't really do too much of anything as far as I know of as of right now. We are just at the 13.22 right now. Just because with the recent updates, I know it messes kind of with the way our videos are, and they got rid of being able to use VLC as a video player and all that good stuff to kind of go with it, I believe. Just in short layman terms, not to kind of get into all the technical stuff to do it, but yeah. So now we have pretty much all that disabled. And I just know that I've just heard, I've never really looked into it or read any of the updates to go with any of it, but I've just heard it doesn't really do too much on the front end of big box, and it's a lot more to do kind of on the back end through the launch spec side with programming and all that kind of good stuff. And I'm gonna lift the panel up and just prop it up is usually what I do. I mean, we do have hinges that we can put in these things too to hold them. I know we haven't done too many of them. I know a few customers have. But there is a hinge that we could put on this thing too that also helps like hold it up, things like that as well as an add-on. But so I'm just gonna prop it up right now. Because usually, for the most part, you guys, you really shouldn't have to get underneath your panel to work on too much of anything, to be honest with you, until you're really playing the heck out of it, and maybe eventually, like, one of your switches or something goes bad. But usually, that's not, like, a concern. So I will try to do this the best I can with hanging onto the camera and explaining. So again, this is from, if you have the old system Manhattan project and going to the Omega and you have a Battleship box, you're basically going to swap these around is what you need to do on your panel. So typically like 1 and 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for like a standard layout, you guys. And then kind of if we got rid of these and just say we had a Scantron layout per se, it's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8 for a Scantron. But 1 and 3 are nudge, and 4 and 6 are flipper, and 2 is still your launch button. So basically the wires are tied in from here. But I will show you at the back too. So again, I'm going to try to hold my camera and do the best I can. So you can kind of just see these are standard buttons here, and then switches with all the wiring and everything to kind of go with it. So, and then typically 1, 2, and 3 are also tied into our toggle switch to be able to switch your mouse clicks to as well. So make sure when you do swap your pinball wires out to include that wire too as well, so you can, flip your toggle switch and be able to mimic 1, 2, 3 here for playing, your 4-way games, things like that, to give you that classic nostalgic feeling. But anyways, so from the back side now, if you kind of look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, 1 and 3 are going to be your nudge now compared to what your flipper was. So basically you can take, start with this wire here. Again, you're going to have, and this isn't a ground. They just used a black wire to run the extra wiring for that off the toggle switch. So again, we have the wire coming from the iPAC and the wire going to the toggle switch. So basically, you're going to take, you know, this one here, and typically it's the red wire from the iPAC. And then down here is your other one. So basically, you're going to have to take the wires that you have connected to here, and so the one from here, you're going to cut that and strip that, and then have to obviously put new ends in. But you're going to take the wire from here and then cut that and put that in place with this one. And that's all you're doing is basically swapping the two around. You know, being a total of 4 together. So basically you're going to take the wire down here, because now these are your flipper buttons, and these are your nudge, like I said, on Manhattan, and they're reversed now. So nudge is up here, flipper's down here. So basically you're going to cut these wires, swap these two, and then the same thing over on, you know, 3 and 6. You're going to do the same thing. Cut the wires, flop them around. The grounds, the grounds will be fine. You don't have to mess with that. It's just the positive part of the wire. So the input side. And then, you know, typically it's a blue wire. So your blue wire and your red wire. So blue is your 4, red is your 1. Hopefully this is all making sense to you guys and it's not too confusing. Hopefully I can, you know, am explaining it in somewhat detail, and this will help. 3 is a red and a black, and then 6 is blue and white. Or no, sorry. No, they should be red and white. Sorry, I was on button 2. So yeah, red and white, and then blue and white. So you're looking red and blue, red and white, and blue and white. Those are the 4 buttons in total. And again, you're just cutting these and basically swapping them around and then reconnecting with some new connectors. Hopefully that helps. Explained into detail a little bit there. With all those that are possibly, you know, doing the drive system themselves, from the old Manhattan to the new big box, and you got that Battleship box. It's not really probably too hard there for you. You know, strippers, you'll need some new connectors, and you're just basically swapping those around is all you're doing, and you should be golden from there. You shouldn't have to do anything else but the buttons right here. Is move those, and you should be set and ready to go. Yeah, yep. That's just like I said. Yep, you don't have to do anything with the ground wire, so you should just be able to have to cut the one wire there and flip that around is all you should have to do. Obviously, if you have RGB, it's a little bit probably more there to kind of go with that, and with RGB, you might even be better off just swapping the buttons completely, because otherwise you're going to have to cut all that and then redo all the RGB wires to go with that as well. What's up, Loose Cannon? So yeah, again, hopefully again, I kind of explained that into somewhat detail for you guys. It's always kind of hard, I know, to kind of do it on live and to show you and explain at the same time, but hopefully that kind of made sense for you all out there. And helps you kind of get through the hump of switching your flippers and your nudges around. And even then, like I said, you might even be able to, if you have standard buttons, you might just be able to take the switch even and swap this switch to this one. Or even just swap the wires even on the flipper itself. You might not even have to cut the wires up here. You know, you might not even have to do this. You might just be able to take the buttons or the switches or the wires that connect down here and just swap the connections even down here. Probably would make more sense, ain't it? Because ultimately you're just tying this in to go down to there. So and it's dependent on how much wire, I guess, is there. There should be enough extra where you should be able to just take your and just flip the connection. So pull the connection off your flipper and nudge here, and just put the connection that was on the nudge down to your flipper, and put the connection that was on your flipper up to your nudge, if that even helps. Oh yeah, so yeah, yep, yeah, so yeah, if you had a two-layer panel, obviously you probably wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't have a nudge. So ultimately you would have to go that route, because you're not gonna, the wires, from here aren't gonna probably stretch to there. So yeah, and like a two-player you probably would, but if you definitely had a four-player, you wouldn't have to do what I was kind of talking about. A four-player, you could just, like I said, take the connection from the flipper and the nudge and just swap them around. It's probably your easiest bet for a four-player, but yeah, unfortunately, if you had a two-player, you would have to cut the wires and swap them. So, again, hopefully that helps. Hopefully I kind of explained that a little bit there. And let's get into it. Yeah, but ask any other questions, or if anybody else needs any help with anything else, again, I will walk you through as best as I can. Like always, not a rocket scientist, but hey, I will help you try to figure it out. All right. So let's see, mine in black here. We'll get into So to pop up the emulator, I'll hit coin. We'll open TechnoParrot. And I'm just curious. It is a subscription game. I'm just gonna see quick if he does have one on here. So I'm just gonna point you the other way. Here, look at some machines that are ready to. I just don't want to show his subscription number if it is on here. Is all. Okay, and it does look like he does have a subscription. So. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, sorry you guys, I just had to show you the other way, because I don't want to give away his subscription number and all that kind of good stuff to go with that, the good internet webs. Everybody likes to kind of take stuff from everybody, so but yeah, we should be able to get in this game and play it. So let's try it out. I guess I should have looked just to double check to make sure the guys set the guns up for us. Let's just double check quick. Before I gotta get in there and then probably back out and do all that good stuff. Let's just check. And we're good to go. All right. I know everybody too, kind of working on a different rendition for our RGB trim, so that will eventually be coming, you guys. I'm getting super pumped about it. Looking to do something a little different with it, so I'm in the process of working on something different with that trim. I don't want to show it off too much right now yet, because I'm still in the works of kind of figuring it out and things like that, but just to kind of give you a little taste, there is going to be something new coming up with it. So get excited. Hopefully in the coming weeks here, we can show that off. And yeah, kind of go from there. All right, let's try this out. First time playing this game, so let's see what kind of damage we can get into.
Agents, a Viper is causing chaos near the New York Battery. Looks like it's time to take out the trash.
That was a little loud, and I'm gonna hit the lights.
Is this light off?
No, you're fine. You're fine. Change patterns as far as what there, Captain G-Pop? Just to change your base colors?
Let's mobilize. Really?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I can show you that here after we kind of get done with this game. We can jump into that RGB stuff, you guys, and I'll show you how to do it. This in particular panel doesn't have RGB buttons, so I don't know how much the software will let me do. Because I know with some of that stuff you gotta have a license and all that to kind of get in to customize a lot of it, but I'll do my best to show you on this machine without the RGB buttons.
Don't you agree? Anyway, it is getting pretty late, and that show you lights on TV soon. You know,
let's do 2 tones, you guys.
Agents, an Orthopterus exomorph has infiltrated a club in London and is trying to steal a crystal.
Is it just the same level? Did it switch my level? Obviously, this is being like a ticket game, you know, at the arcades nowadays. You get the tickets, you can get win your prizes, all that good stuff. So that's what this is more or less like now.
Okay.
All right.
Scan information.
There. Dual gunning it. Dual welding it. Wielding it. Welding it. Wielding. However you want to say it. Pronounce it.
Oh, yes! 12 o'clock.
Take out some aliens.
Watch your 6.
Exhaust gun. Oh, nice. Nice. They don't stand a chance. Don't stand a chance, Daramon. Danger, danger. It's the bug. Nice,
Have
nice.
everybody's attention, please.
Okay, so it is pizza, and you're going to get an extra large with mozzarella.
All right, guys.
capers, olives,
There's a kind of a little sneak peek at the Men in Black game if you all were kind of wondering.
It's just wrong.
We'll jump into this RGB stuff, you guys, and then
Agents, the hive is
we can maybe
starting
jump back into
to
Techno Parrot since we got a subscription. I can check out to see what other kind of gun games are subscriptions that we can kind of get you to see and go from there. So obviously we're gonna want to get to our desktop. So get to your desktop is gonna be the first thing for RGB. And like I said, I don't know how much I'll be able to do, or how much access or things that it will let me do without having the buttons or the license. So, but there is an LED blinky license goes here folder right on the desktop, you guys. Typically, if you can see there, LED blinky. So let's just double click on that folder. Again, I will move the camera and zoom in so you guys can kind of see a little bit of everything what I'm doing. So double click on that. That is gonna bring you right into the LED blinky folder, and this is where you're gonna get into where you can customize stuff. So first, let's just go and say, you know, our standard colors when the machine fires up for the first, you know, when you're turning your machine on, and get into the big box, and then you can kind of just see, you know, for those that have RGB buttons, it'll kind of light up your standard colors until you kind of get into the game folders and swipe through there, and it kind of does its thing from there. So we are gonna go into LED blinky animation editor is what we are looking for, if you guys can see that. So that's what we're looking for. Double click on this. See, it's gonna say no LED controller detected because I don't have anything. And again, I don't have anything mapped, but I think I can still kind of show you here. It's not gonna give me an animation though, where I can click on it is the one thing. But I can kind of explain from here what you're gonna kind of do. So yeah, you can kind of see, like, since I don't have RGB buttons, it's not gonna give me full access. It's not gonna show me my buttons, because typically when you load this up, it's gonna show you like your button mapping of your buttons typically and all that to go with it. But if you wanted to change your standard button colors, if you come up here to animation, if you click on this and then hit open, it should take you to a folder called Iowa, I believe, is what you're looking for. I can get into it on the back end, and then you're going to look for the 4-player gameplay let's just call it iWax. iWax, and then that is where you want to save your colors, or you want to open this to show you your base colors on your panel. And in the upcoming live streams, you guys, if I do get a panel or a machine that has the RGB buttons and all that to go with it, I can re-show this again too. I can always even too work towards making maybe a little video for those folks that have the RGB, if they kind of wanted to change their colors and play with it a little bit. Maybe I can make a video just to kind of show you some of the stuff to get in here and do all that. So this one again is like your base colors for your machine, that's what it's saved under. Now, and then obviously when you get done in there messing around with anything, you just want to save to make sure your base colors save. I mean, you can get in there and do all kinds of things. I even set one up to where it would do all kinds of trickle effects for base colors. I mean, they even have, I mean, if you look up LED blinky, they have instructions and kind of walk you through some of that stuff too online. If that's going to help you too in a way, if you like reading. This might even have install PDF here. Let's see what's in here. I'm just curious. I've never. Yeah, so even in here, even in the software, you guys, like there is even a manual that like walks you through all this stuff. So if you really want to geek out and get into this, you really want to play with the RGB buttons and kind of go all crazy with it. I mean, there's a manual right in LED Blinky that will walk you through a lot of stuff too as well. So, I mean, if you see that, install and configure PDF, that's going to walk you through some stuff too. But to add games, things like that, if you want to change button colors for games or add a game and do specific colors for that game, because like I only kind of set up the standard base stuff. So for like, again, all our expansion stuff, you guys, I usually will do like the Xbox controller colors. Typically for that, because a lot of the games in there, you're only going to, I mean, majority of the games in those new expansions are going to be able to play on Xbox controller, or for your modern fighters or side scrollers, they're going to go to the control deck. And then, so that's why I program the colors to correlate with like an Xbox controller, because those games will use X-Arcade X input, which pulls up like Xbox, basically, them recognizing them as Xbox controllers there. Trying to spit out the words. So, yeah, this is where, like I said, this is where I'm getting into the game specific stuff. So it's in your LED Blinky controller editor. Hopefully I'm doing okay with all this, you guys. Again, I can re-show it again. It's not a big deal. But this, again, like I said, this kind of gives you a general idea how to get in here. But LED Blinky controller editor is where you can add games, change colors, and all that good stuff to kind of go with that. So if we double click in here, obviously I'm going to get the warning, you don't have it. But I can kind of show you. So this is going to pop up here. And then see if we scroll down now, you can see like all the folders and everything for games, things like that. If there's a game that possibly you added from Steam, things like that on here, and you want your RGB buttons to correlate with all that, you can do that. Typically, when I kind of do it, you can import it. You can do the MAME games, or typically like a lot of the games that you guys are going to import or games that we're looking for are probably going to be in unknown games. So if we hit unknown games, see, I don't know why it's not doing it now, because we did play a few games. But usually when you go in to play some of those newer titles and things like that, they're going to be in the import unknown games. So maybe, I'm just like curious. Let's just like minimize this for a second. And let's just launch Launchbox up open. And see if we can't get a game just to pop up in there so I can show you. But typically, I've noticed when I have done it, is you'll play like the game that you're looking to add the buttons. And then if you load the game and have it run and then back out, usually it'll pop up in that unknown games. And then you can customize from there, you guys, is what I've kind of noticed. I mean, if somebody else knows better than I do, feel free to tell me on how to do that. But this is, like I said, the way I kind of figured it out on my own. I'm just going to swap the title. And let's maybe just find a game in here quick. And launch it quick. What's like a side scroller in here quick that we could just... Let's even say just this game. Let's try to just play this quick. This is in Technoparrot. Because I know this is like a fighter, so this is something like you could run the X-Arcade X input, or however it's even ran through Technoparrot. It's probably ran through, obviously different through there, that you could set your buttons up that way. But let's just like load this up quick. Oh, and it doesn't even, jeez. Just don't even run well in Technoparrot. All right. No. I just don't know if that's the emulator not running very well or what's going on with that, but that looks like we'll have to look into fixing that. But I was just trying to give you guys an idea as to... Yeah, see, I don't know if it's going to let me do it because of I don't have LED blinky is the thing. I mean, I could try loading a different game. But usually, like... I mean, if you have a MAME game, I know you can import the MAME ROMs. Because typically with MAME, it's already pre-set up through LED blinky. But let me just go into one of these just so I could show you. And then with like expansion, so if you have your own drives, like you can just import the whole drive and then set up base colors for that drive. And that's kind of what I've done with the expansion stuff. I mean, I even went through and did the pinball stuff. So when you like, you can import like the pinball folder like I did, and then you can just do a default is what I did. And then you can see you're just going to add your buttons and what colors you want them to light up from there. So like common is going to be like your start select. So you can kind of see how I did it here. You'll pick a UI select and then you can pick your color and then you can do a quick code to your key code like player 1 start. And cancel obviously is like your exit, which like typically I have your shift lit up like that. So you can kind of know to hold your shift and player 2 to exit out. Or otherwise for those that have like the dedicated exit, that'll light up red for you then. So you know, obviously that's the exit too as well. But, you know, so if you're going to add a new one, you can click on new. And then you can see. So from here is where like I can now add my buttons and colors and all that good stuff. So you can, again... This is just going to be your common stuff like start and select and exit, things like that. So, you know, your trackball's in here. So for like the golden tees, like I've lit up the trackball. You can light up your trackball for those, you know, that you want your trackball lit up for those games. But most of these in here, you're really not going to use. I mean, pause you can use if you have a dedicated pause button. I know for like player 1 joystick, typically, like if you have the bat style RGB joysticks, you can light up your joysticks too as well. And you can select the colors and do all that with it too in here as well. Typically like player 1 is going to be like your, whatever this was, your common. And then like your player 1 buttons actually will be like the buttons like 1 through 8. But like common is going to be like your start, your cancel, your player 1 joystick, and then the buttons from there. So and then you obviously you can select up to 4 players if you want to, one player, and then you can obviously go through again like those individually, kind of just like how I did here. So you know I kind of lit these up. I kind of followed, I believe, what Arcade Adam had originally for like PC games and things like that for pinball. So I kind of just went into some of these older ones and just seen how they were lit up or correlated with there. If LED blinky already had that in there, I'm not sure itself. But again, you know, if you do your button 1, again, whatever button you want to start with, new, select whatever button you're looking to do, you know, and then... from there, you can come to your color. They got colors in here that you can select. You can go to pick a color, and you could pick a custom color and go through all the colors kind of over here and pick a color from there. And then, you know, when you have your color picked or whatever, you can do you hit quick code, and then you could hit, you know, like your player 1 start, and it's going to automatically input the code what that button is programmed to for you, so you don't have to kind of remember it and go hunt it down. The only ones that you might have to hunt down are like your trackball, potentially, or your mouse clicks are just going to be tied in the same with player 1, but they got your mouse buttons in here too, where you could just light them up as the mouse button colors to whatever you wanted to for that game. So yeah, I mean, without really kind of getting into it a lot more detail, hopefully this kind of helps with with those individuals that are kind of trying to figure this out, I guess is all I'm just trying to get to and say. So hopefully that kind of helps you out. And again, when I get a panel, things like that, when we're on live again, I can show you kind of that way too, and you can kind of see a little bit more with how it's all done. But I mean, you can kind of see how I set up like the golden tees, you know. So if I double clicked on one of these, you can kind of see how I have the button colors all lit up for golden tee there, you know, 1 through 6. And then again, if we came to common, you could see, you know, how I have the trackball lit up white, your start and your exit from there. So if you always wanted to go in the golden tee and you wanted your trackball to be a different color, I want to play this game and I want my trackball to be purple. Well, you could get in here and hit edit, and then now you could change this to whatever color you want your trackball to light up. Say for golden tee, you know, say you didn't want it at white and you wanted it something different. Again, I was just going with just standard kind of colors, things like that. But if you really wanted to get in here and customize and do all this and change colors and do it to your liking, you certainly can do all that. So hopefully that helps. And again, you're going to want to save, obviously, when you're all done with this, you're going to save that folder. You're going to save up here this folder too as well, and then back out. And then another thing I would do, you guys, if, you know, you go through all that work to customize all that, get a backup of that stuff. You're going to want a backup of that just in case anything were to happen. So like LED blinky controls XML, this XML folder, that's where all that stuff, that folder we were in to customize everything, that's where all of it gets saved to. So that's going to be a major one to back up for those that go in and really start customizing. Because I wouldn't want your stuff to crash on you potentially in the future, or something to happen, or you get lightning strike and now you just lost all your hard work you went through. So mega backup, get a thumb drive, whatever you need to do, back up that for sure. The other one you can always back up, which I do it here, you guys. And it's not in here because I didn't save it. But there is like an LED blinky for just your general stuff too. But again, I always have all the general stuff saved here. We have a backup of a lot of that. And I can show that in another video too. But typically I'll save like the Iowa folder, which that's where all your base colors are saved. You'll save like the input mapping. I think there's like an LED blinky input map. It'll say down here for when you get all the buttons, when we do all the button setting up here. And then usually there's like a layout one too that I'll save inside of this whole folder. So it's always a good idea, again, you guys, when you do that kind of stuff, get in there, mess around with any of that to back up and save that. Because again, you don't want to be like mad once something happens and then you're like, shoot, now I got to go through and spend hours or days or whatever you guys got invested into that to re-go through it. So hopefully that, again, kind of helps those that are looking to do all that stuff, you guys. Hopefully I kind of explained that in detail for you. And, yeah, let me see what you guys are saying here. And longer to boot. Currently it takes nearly 3 minutes to start. Any ideas? How old is your machine there, my bud? How old is your machine? Because we switched to M.2 drives, which are, you know, plugged directly into the motherboard now, versus an SSD. So yeah, I don't think we were doing M.2s yet, July of 24. So you probably just have a standard SSD, and that could be why you have slower boot times versus the M.2 being directly on your motherboard. That's the difference. It's a huge difference, you guys. I noticed that when we switched to that, how much faster these things load up and work. So much more better, you guys, with the M.2 drive, personally. They're so much faster, much faster boot times, loading times, all that to kind of go with it. So I'm thinking that's probably why yours takes probably just a little bit longer. So but let's get into maybe a couple more games right before the live stream here, you guys. Let's see if we can't hunt any more. Yeah, like I said, that's probably why. Trust me, I noticed that too when we had SSDs. Yeah, they took a little bit longer to boot up. And then once I noticed, like I said, we switched to these M.2s. It was like night and day, you guys. It's just crazy how much faster they are compared to a standard SSD. Let's see what other subscription games are in Techno Parrot here. Maybe we can get a couple more gameplays of maybe some of the newer gun games, get you guys to see some of that, and go from there. Keep on asking questions. Again, let me know if you have any other IT questions, things like that too as well. Typically, all the older motherboards, I would think, should have an M.2 in there. I don't know what the cost is for switching over, you guys, or if you wanted to always keep your SSD as a backup and just buy a new M.2 from us, question mark. Definitely give us a call. Talk to David, see what he says, because I don't really have an idea on price or how all that kind of works, you guys, to be honest with you. Man, why aren't we loading up here? Oh, that's why Launchbox didn't close on me. There we go. Yeah, and if you guys get a new M.2, I don't know with like your game saves and your favorites, like you're gonna have to probably transfer those files over so you don't have to redo all that either. I remember David showing me what file you can grab to save your favorites and bring that over so none of that switches on you and things like that, but I don't remember, you guys. I try to remember everything to kind of go with programming and all that to go with it. I probably should start writing some of that stuff down. Just because I know my memory isn't the greatest. But I'm just curious. I think we use the keyboards. So yeah, these 2 X8 keyboards is typically what we use here for a keyboard. There's just a dongle in the back typically that you can use, and then you can plug this just into, typically you should have in like a hub under your panel where you could plug it in there, or possibly one on the back of your machine that you could just plug that in and have it. And then these are kind of nice. They light up colors too. I think mine is just a little busted, but they do all light up backlight and colors like that to go with it. And I know you can change the colors on them, things like that. I think they're like 25 bucks-ish, somewhere in there on Amazon. But yeah, they're always nice and handy to have. Let's see. I'm just looking at like some of the subscription games. Ooh, we have up to 2017 for... I'm assuming that's probably going to be on the newer drive, because I don't even think we have 2016. I could see if I can play it, but I think those are going to all be on the new expansion too as well. Yeah, usually like Suzo, I believe is where he gets all that stuff. They're not USB. They're plugged into an OptiWiz. And then, yeah, USB'd from the OptiWiz itself. But yeah, I know you can buy some of the trackballs that are directly through USB. I know we had a few of them here. And I know I ran into a couple of problems with them not correlating with Golden Tee very well, but I just don't know if that's just going in and messing maybe with the settings in Golden Tee for sensitivity and things like that. But the ones we use here, we run them through an OptiWiz, and that's where the mouse clicks run through as well, and then the trackball too. Is typically what we do here. I'm just curious. Yeah, I think these are probably on the are going to be on the new expansion, unless I'm lucky and they're on here. The 2016. Oh, it is. So yeah, you're gonna see Men in Black up on top just because I launched it from Techno Parrot, so don't pay attention to that. I'm assuming you're saying for RGB, like what I was all messing with. Yeah, it's in trackball, and that's gonna be in the common section in the RGB settings for doing all that. Even when you go to set it up through an LED blinky, you'll have to select trackball typically.
Great day for Golden Tee. Hello, friends. I'm Jim Mace.
And a little plant pan, Golf Resort, Ireland, Minnesota, Galapagos Islands. They have one in Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Egypt, Georgia, Cheney. You can play at the Great Wall. There, David even said you could just clone your SSD to an M.2, you guys yourselves as well. And then you wouldn't have to worry about any of that. Oh, here we go. Let's play the Woodland Farm.
The morning sun paints a perfect scene here from Woodland.
So let's just close out with this game. I mean, we can go even to an hour and a half, you guys. If you guys keep on chatting, having questions. Let's do a couple holes of this to get you some golfing, to show you some of the newer Golden Tee. I'll try to back this up a bit. But yeah, again, the marquee is just, like I said, Men in Black, just because I ran this through Techno Parrot. So I could have went to the game and then we could have that up in the marquee, but again, it's not a big deal, you guys.
What's this? Call for one, looking at a birdie. Golfer 1 on tee.
All right. Oh, don't go in the water. That's all I gotta say. Don't go in the water.
A drive to remember.
Can I crush it? Oh! I thought that was gonna go right in the hole. Wow.
Golfer 1 for birdie.
Oh, come on. Come on. I gypped myself out of that one. I do have on our YouTube channel, there is a tutorial on how to link up Xbox controllers.
Golfer 1 at the tee.
I think I'm gonna go in the water.
This might not be what he
Yeah.
wants.
Yep. Oops.
Golfer 1 looking at bogey.
Yeah.
Golfer 1 is up just off the green.
You can see how good I am at Golden
Golfer
Tee.
1 with the short stick.
Yeah. Don't play with this guy. But remember, if you do use Xbox controllers,
Now the tee shot of golfer 1.
you'll have to go into MAME and program your Xbox controllers in there too, Bud Philly. And we do have a tutorial video on our YouTube channel as well on how to walk you through how to get into MAME and add inputs and stuff too as well. But I can certainly show you here in a minute. But just for those that maybe are in the future and I'm not on live, like we do have videos on all that stuff on our YouTube channels. There is, I believe, a tutorials playlist. So if you go to our YouTube channel, I believe there's a get ready to have fun tutorials or something like that, I believe it says. And there's tons of tutorials on there with like getting in the emulators and how to set up controllers and all that good stuff to go with it.
What's your time?
Put out the putter. He's on the green.
But I'll get to like hole 9 and then I can show you too here.
Golfer 1, this, a par putt. Ready at the tee. It's golfer 1.
And to be honest with you guys, I'm not even trying in this. I'm just whacking it. Where's my spin? Okay, backspin, roll, bite. Let's just do a bite. Hopefully it don't go all over. Stop. There we go.
Golfer 1 will putt.
I need to make this. Oh!
Eagle.
There we go.
On tee now. Golfer 1.
Can I get it through here? I doubt I'll be able to get it through the trees, huh? I don't want to hit the trees either.
leaves.
There we go. I think I snuck it through there a little bit. And you guys can adjust trackball sensitivity and things like that too for these newer Golden Tees inside a Techno Parrot there as well. If you want it less sensitive or more sensitive too, I know. There we go, there we go. Not bad, not bad.
Golfer 1, ready to hit.
I'm gonna do bite again.
Leaf ball.
Dang it.
Golfer 1 with an attempt at par.
Oh, jeez.
Golfer 1 with the putter. This is par.
Get in your hole.
Golfer 1 is ready to tee off.
All right, we're giving this one a good whacking. Gave it a good old whack and see how far it'll go. Oh man, now I gotta go around the corner. Can I get it around is the question. Oops. I think we go back this way. Oh! I didn't have enough distance on it, or I had too much angle. Oh, that was terrible.
What's this look like?
That was terrible.
Sometimes these short shots are the hardest to get close.
I didn't have enough power on that chip shot.
Golfer 1 with this for par.
There we go. Last hole.
Ready to tee it up. Golfer 1.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Yep. Right in the
Over
drink.
to Golfer 1.
Come on, baby. Get in there. Oh, close again.
Golfer 1 with the putter, trying for par.
There we go. Not bad. Even. Not bad for, you know, somebody that doesn't play this at all. All right. Let's back out of here, though. So, for our boy Philly, there. So again, if you guys have the newer Xbox Series X controllers, I believe these are, this is what we use here. This is what all our emulators are set up for. You guys, I'll turn the lights back on. But yeah, this is just a red one, obviously. So yeah, Xbox Series X, I believe they're the newest ones. And if you already have a dongle in your unit, which that's what a lot of these are, is through a USB dongle, you can simply just sync up another set of controllers and set all that up with that too as well. So pretty simple. Here's the sync switch. There's a button on the dongle too as well. I can go grab one of the dongles quick. Just to show you guys. Yep. Yeah, you can. You can. Typically here we do just a little custom bezel to secure that in place, because I believe they're like little discs. You might even be able to use the disc and use a little screw to screw that right into the bottom of your trackball. You know, your trackball housing. I just know with us, here, some of the times when we got those modules, like the lighting color was off, and then I believe we tried to talk to them about that, and I don't think there was anything that they could do with it. But for some reason, the correlation with that and the modules and stuff, there's sometimes the lighting would be off with that. So I know here we have a bunch of like the old standard RGB, like when before they came out with the newer style of RGB button, they used to have the older style that used with the standard switch, and then it was just like a kind of a light that sat by the switch and stuff, and we have a bunch of those, so we've been using those to light up the trackballs and things like that here. So you could potentially even do that. I mean, it's a little bit more modding because you have to make like a little plate for it and things like that. But that's always an option too. But those do work. I just know, like I said, I know with us here, and maybe they fixed it now, is that just some of like the white seemed not really white, and it was kind of purple, and I just don't know if that's all correlation with LED blinking, the programming and all that good stuff. But you can always kind of get in and I know tone those colors and adjust them. So I don't know, maybe you'll have a little bit better luck or whatever with that, I guess is all I'm just trying to say. But yeah, so newer Xbox Series X, you know, you have the sync button here, hold that down, this will flash, and then there is a sync button. So this is usually, you know, plugged into your computer, really runs off of, and then there's a sync button on the front of that, and then usually this will flash, and then, you know, once it's a steady just light that you're synced. You can use the USB-C cable in the front of that and plug that into your, you know, you can unplug your gun and plug it in the front USB up there too as well, and that'll sync to the dongle that way as well. You can even use them, you don't even have to have a dongle too as well, and you could just have the cable plugged in into the front and use them that way too, I believe. But this is what they're all set up and programmed. If you're going to use any other controllers outside of like this style, or an older Xbox One, or if you get an 8-bit DOE, I know people like, or if you want the nostalgic feeling of like getting the Nintendo 64 controllers and all those kind of old style ones like that, you'll have to go into the emulators and set up the button mapping for those, because like I said, everything's set up in emulators to rock the newest Xbox controllers. And again, there's all those tutorials on how to get into those emulators and a step-by-step process on how to kind of get in there and set those up and do all that stuff for you on our YouTube channel. Go to our playlist section, and then you should be able to find it from there. So hopefully that kind of helps setting all that up from there. But again, if you wanted to do it in the MAME, so if you're looking for like probably, I mean, we could probably go to what, 4-player MAME here. And just say a Turtles game. I mean, if you just say let's do Turtles in Time. Well, and you got to remember, guys, like RGB runs off a 5-volt. So, yeah, I'm talking more RGB. All your RGB buttons and all those lights that run off of those are 5-volt. Don't ever run that stuff in the 12-volt. Otherwise, you're going to run into a bad time. You're going to end up frying stuff. If you hook up 12-volt to that, you're probably going to end up frying like the board out, is what you'll do. And then you're going to have to unplug everything and get a new board and go through all that. And I don't know what else it could potentially blow out to. It could blow out maybe some of your buttons. But, yeah, don't run 12-volt to your RGB, you guys. For those that have, like, a lighted panel, typically, like, just a standard static, you know, LED lights, not RGB stuff, those, yeah, are run off of 12 volts. And yeah, you might be able to potentially run your light, you know, your trackball light of that off of 5. I don't even know if it would really light off of 5 volt, because typically all the trackball lights that we use for just like a standard white, purple, or whatever, those are usually all typically 12 volt. But you guys could always buy dimmers too and put dimmers on that stuff if you don't like how bright any of that is. Things like that too as well. But just say, hey, if I'm looking to, I wanted to add Xbox controllers to MAME. So typically it's going to be, you know, if you have a keyboard, it's just a tab button on your keyboard. You can do your shift and to the right. Oops, I think I paused at the same time. But if you do your shift function and player 1 joystick to the right, it's going to bring up this in-game menu basically here. And then from here, don't ever go into input general. That's going to do it all. If you just want to do it per game, you're going to go to input this machine, because that's going to do it just for this game, you guys. So if we go input this machine, and then you can see what, you know, player 1, 2, 3, 4. So say I wanted, you know, we'll just say 3. We can go, or if you wanted player 1 and you wanted to add an Xbox controller for player 1, if you just tap your player 1 joystick to the right, you can see now it says press player 1 to append. So that's basically you're going to add, is what you're doing. You don't want to probably clear out originally what's already there, because just in case you ever want to play on the control panel, you don't want to wipe out any of that good stuff. So just leave it there. Just add. So we're going to append. So if I hit my player 1 start, you can see it's going to come up with it what it was there. And then now I could add up on my player 1 joystick. And for some reason, it's not letting me do it. Yeah, for some reason, it's not letting me do it. Oh, it might have been because I didn't have the controller on before I started the game, you guys. That's probably why. And I believe this is set up for player 3. Why is P1? That's just weird that P1 isn't set up as player 1. Oh, okay, yeah. So I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how like Turtles is. Like 1's on the very end. I think it goes correlating with kind of 1 and 2, you know, or 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. So like 1 and 2 are here actually, and players 3 and 4 are over there. I was just trying to figure out how it's actually mapped on the control panel. But yeah, here, let me back out, because I think that's what it was. I didn't have the controller turned on before I started the game. And you can see how it won't let you input then. So let's see here. This should fix that problem. So let's see now if I go to the right and put this machine. And now again, if I want player 1 joystick to the right, hit my player 1 start, and now went up. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I just didn't have the Xbox controller on before I loaded up MAME settings. So you can see it's gonna add now your Xbox controller in from there.
Sorry, no.
Oh, that's fine.
Did you have some of that clear double-sided tape?
Yeah. Yep.
Can I just use some of that for me? Thank you. Sorry. Perfect.
So yeah, that's how you can get in there and kind of add your. You can add your Xbox controller. So if you kind of want to add them in. Again, like I said, RGB typically runs 5 volt unless you guys are doing something different. But yeah, typically, like I was saying, all our LED static stuff we use 12 volt, but because all your RGB boards, all of that stuff plugs into your board, and those boards run off of 5 volt. So Again, you guys are probably talking about just a regular static lit trackball is probably what you're talking about. Because you would never be able to do that for RGB. Unless I don't know something. But to me, if you would run 12 volt, you're going to end up, like I said, blowing out a board. But anyways, you guys, hopefully that kind of helps with some of the stuff all you are kind of looking to do, questions you have with some of that stuff as well. So if anybody doesn't have any other questions, you must be talking about the light that comes with the trackball, is what I'm assuming. We swap all ours out to an LED because usually, typically, if you just get them right from the manufacturer, I know, they just come with a white light that's like a halogen light, and those get super hot. So we always run a different style light on ours and make a bezel and things for it to run and sit on the bottom of our trackballs. Yeah, and I like I said, I was talking about RGB. But yeah, if you originally get your trackball from there, typically, yeah, they do come with like a standard halogen bulb, white bulb on the bottom to light up your trackball from there. And yeah, those will take 12 volts. But RGB, again, is 5 volt. So yeah, if nobody else has any other questions for today, you guys, we're going to get going here. And again, we'll probably end up seeing you in another like 2 weeks, you guys. I was thinking about maybe possibly doing the next live stream, you guys. So it won't be next Thursday, but it'll be the Thursday after that. Possibly doing the 2 to 3 from Central Time, you guys. To maybe get a few more of you on, a few more of you at home, sitting in front of your machines. So you guys can kind of, you know, I can walk you through some of the stuff while you're in front of your machine, help you out with any of that, and go from there. So, and I can put in a post too as well into on our YouTube channel, you guys, with the time, the date, and all that good stuff to go with it. So I just think, yeah, in a couple weeks from this Thursday, maybe we'll try like the 2 to 3 time frame. Get a few more of you on here. A few more of you can answer your IT questions, things like that, you guys. We'll make a post about it. I'll get a post to the next live stream up and running, and we'll go from there. Like, subscribe down below like always, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.